masses, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have to trade deuce and a deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the knack in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up and axing sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks. Honey's wanna jack, but all we wanna know is where the party at. And can I bring my jack? If not, I hope I don't get shot. Better throw my vest on my chest, cause niggas is a mess. You don't take nothing but fuck for me to start sucking. Bucking and fucking at niggas like I was duck hunting. Dumbing out just me and my crew, cause all we wanna do is party, bullshit, and party, and bullshit, and party, and bullshit, and party, and bullshit, and party, and bullshit, and party. The honeys, out from the rough necks. See my man say that I do from the projects. Said he had beat, asked me if I had my piece. Sure do, 222s in my shoes. Holla if you need me, love, I'm in the house. Rolling strong, see what the honeys is about. Moet poppin', home poppin', ain't no stopping. Big Papa, I'm a bad boy. Niggas wanna front, who got your back? Niggas wanna flex, who got the gap? It ain't hard to tell, I'm the East Coast overdoser. Nigga, you scared, you're supposed to. Nigga, I told you, put fear in your heart. Fuck up the party before it even starts. Is he drunk, over Henny and stuff, or some brand new and shit, beat down punks? Party and bullshit, that's that. Party and bullshit and 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 party and bullshit. Bitches in the back looking righteous in a tight dress. I think I might just hit her with a little Biggie 101. How to tote a gun and have fun with your man and run conversation. What's in location? My man Big John got the Glock in his waist and was smoking, drinking, got the hooker thinking. If money smell bad, then this nigga big is stinking. Is it my charm? I got the hookers eating out my palm. She grabbed my arm and said, let's leave prom. I'm hitting skins again. Roll up another blunt, bought a Heineken. Niggas thought the low out, a kid got choked out, clothes was thrown, and a fucking fight broke out. Come on, motherfucker! Can't we just all get along so I can put Nickies on her chest like little Sean? Get a pissy drunk off a dog, carry on, and it's on.